Do you know about the elements of justice? When someone has a crime committed against them, going through the criminal justice process can be pretty overwhelming. Having a system that is fair and that listens to the people most impacted by crime is critical. The elements of justice ensure such a system exists. Here are the elements, and we'll talk a little more in depth about some of them. The first four elements we will discuss are the victim's voice, fairness, dignity, and respect. When asked what elements they thought were the most important, these practitioners had this to say about voice, respect, and fairness.
I think the element of justice that means the most to me is the victim's voice, because when a victim is not heard, they feel disenfranchised. They feel that their rights are not being protected, and that is ultimately what we're striving for, is to respect the victim's wishes and help them restore their sense of wholeness. And so hearing the victim's voice and protecting the victim's voice, representing the victim's voice in the criminal and civil justice system is, to me, the most important element.
I think fairness, because I believe that part of the goal of NCVLI and many crime victims groups that I work with is to have some equality between defendants' rights and victims' rights. And given the history of victims' rights, where in criminal cases, victims used to bring their own cases, and now it's, as we say in Pennsylvania, a crime against the Commonwealth, I think we've lost a lot in translation in terms of who has the right to do what, and what kind of privacy rights do you have, and what kind of fairness should the victim have in conjunction with the defendant's rights.
I would have to say respect, without a doubt, because the victims that I work with and clients that I work with and other survivors that I meet, oftentimes the most basic thing that they feel that they've lost is respect. The justice system is complicated. Sometimes they're not treated kindly. Sometimes they're not treated by dedicated victim advocates or people with the right training. And they often feel marginalized, not listened to, and ultimately not respected. So I think that's one of the most important elements. It's just as important as ensuring that a defendant has the right to a fair trial. Every victim has the right to respect.
Other elements, such as privacy and protection, can help provide safety and security so that participating in justice is less invasive. Just as defendants are guaranteed the rights to due process and a speedy trial, so too does justice require that these are afforded to victims. The crime or crimes committed against a victim can have a wide range of effects, from the immediate to the long term. Restitution, compensation, and property return provide the means for victims to begin to recover from some of the impacts of crime. The elements of access and information ensure that victims understand the justice system and can seek redress more easily. Being able to confer with the prosecutor and give impact statements help ensure the justice system listens to victims. The rights to notice and to be present were identified by some practitioners as the most important elements.
Basic notice for victims to know about impending hearings, court appearances, just to advise them that, look, the perpetrator is going to be at a certain date, certain place, and that victims are afforded that opportunity to participate and have that notice. So at the very basic, I think that's a very important and essential element and right that victims should be allowed to enforce.
I've given this careful consideration, and I think for us in my practice, the most important one that we're really focusing on right now is the right to be present, because it's a huge issue in Ohio. I know other states don't have the issue so much, but I think for me, the core of the victims truly being, having a participatory status is the ability to be informed, to know what's going on, to be able to observe the entire process, and to feel like they really have a role. That's the main way that victims are going to be able to heal. And we have a lot of judges and prosecutors who still believe in the 70s version of separation of witnesses, who are trying to prevent victims from being present. So that's a huge hurdle. I think that's crucial.
This was just a quick look at some elements of justice. For more information, NCVLI has published a number of in-depth bulletins, including several bulletins that go in-depth into each element of justice. These are available for download on our website in the Law Library. In addition to the Victim Law Library, NCVLI's online resources include a rights enforcement toolkit, as well as other Know Your Rights short videos. NCVLI can also provide more specific information and resources to members of the victims' rights community. To submit a request for assistance, please visit our website and fill out the online request form. Victims deserve to be treated fairly in the criminal justice system. NCVLI is here to help. For more information, NCVLI has published a number of in-depth bulletins, including several bulletins that go in-depth into each element of justice. These are available for download on our website in the Law Library. In addition to the Victim Law Library, NCVLI's online resources include a rights enforcement toolkit, as well as other Know Your Rights short videos. NCVLI can also provide more specific information and resources to members of the victims' rights community. To submit a request for assistance, please visit our website and fill out the online request form. Victims deserve to be treated fairly in the criminal justice system. NCVLI is here to help.